What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another tutorial. I'm going to take you guys through some really fun stuff that we've added in version 1.4.1, and we've added static images into the MX Fusion genAI pipeline. So it's going to create some very cool effects I'm excited to take you guys through. All right, so we've landed now at a blank MXR screen, and I'm going to open up the Environments tab, and I'm going to turn off our sky. We're just going to have a blank screen for now. And we're going to start to light this very quickly. I'm going to run you guys through some basic scene setup. Let's drag and drop a skylight and a reflection map into here and set the cube map to beach. It's going to light the scene, but it's also going to give our object something to reflect. And then I'm going to come over here to 3D objects in the content browser and drag and drop one of these hemisphere shapes into the scene. All right, so this is going to start to form the foundation of a mushroom cap because we're going to create an interesting looking mushroom head person. And then I'm going to rotate this around, and we're going to use this, sorry about that, we're going to use this to create the cap of the mushroom. All right, so there we go. Look at cap of a mushroom. Just so you guys know, I went into the exposure in the post-processing volume, and under metering mode, I changed it from automatic to manual, and I set that to 10, just so we had a nice evenly lit setup instead of manual. I'm sorry, instead of auto, which can really jump around. So let's make this scene a little bit more evenly lit, and then I'm going to set this mushroom to 0, 0, 0, so that everything is centered. Then let's do a little bit more scene setup. I'm going to go over here and select the swarm particle system. I'm also going to zero that out. And then I'm going to make these particles much bigger. Let's set those guys to 50. I'm going to zoom out. And then let's set the scale to 0.5. That's going to set the overall bounding box much smaller. And maybe 50 is too much. Let's go to 30. And then on our hemisphere, let's make that guy like 5. How about 6? All right, so now we've got a mushroom cap with these particle systems bouncing around inside of them. And we're going to do a couple things. Let's go down here to 0.4 strength, and let's set that to negative. That's going to make the particles pull inwards towards the center point. And let's make the fall off distance like 100,000. So this is going to start pulling those guys in. And then what's causing them to move right now is really the curl noise strength right here. So I'm going to attach node 3 into the curl noise strength and set that to multiply. And then we go to the nodes tab and we look at number 3, and this is set to the master mix for audio input, and it's set to bass. So if I turn on some music, now we can see we have some moving particle systems. I'm going to set this to maybe 10,000 and then make that double. All right, so let's watch that real quick. All right, so we got an interesting looking particle system. We got a little mushroom cap, and you know what? Let's make this mushroom cap a little bit more stylized. So I'm going to go to the materials folder, and I'm going to drag and drop this car paint texture on there. It's got a nice reflective surface. All right, so now for the stuff that you guys are probably all here for. We want to turn this into a mushroom head person. All right, and then there's really only 2 or 3 settings within the genAI pipeline that you need to really be concerned about for this video. And we're in color mode, and we're going to open up styling and the step schedule. And this is probably the most important value here. A lower number is going to let the AI dream more, and a higher number is going to let more of the animation come through. And then we've got down here static image input and the static image weight. So I'm going to set this 0.25 for now, and then I'm going to select an image. And we've got this person right here with a robotic android kind of head, and then we're going to hit start to queue up the AI pipeline. All right, so that's loading into memory. That could take some time. First time you run this, it could take 5 to 15 minutes to build and download all the required AI models and engines, so be patient. I've run this a couple times, so it pops up pretty much instantly. All right, so now we've got a mushroom head. This is looking a little bit grainy and kind of illustrative, so let's add some modifying words. So let's say glass mushroom. All right, and maybe we say shiny 3D style. All right, now we've got a completely different looking image just by prompting what type of style we're looking for. And so that's introducing a dimension into what I'm about to show you guys. So there's really 3 dimensions to what we're working with here, and by dimensions I just mean three really important categories, and that is the 3D animation, and we're feeding it from the right side, the prompts, and then the static image and the variables that we're going to apply. So if we set the step schedule index to 20, we're going to get more of our animation coming through. And if we set to say 35, we're going to get a lot of our image and much less of the AI. And the AI is going to be much less resolved as well. It's going to be a lot softer. So if we come down to 20 again, now we're starting to get nice glossiness, but a little bit of the image, so maybe 22. And then if we start to play with the amount of static image, the image-to-image process, if we set this to 0.1, we're not going to get much at all. If we set it to like 0.8, we're going to get a lot. And as you can tell, we're getting most of that static image coming through and very little of our animation. So 0.5 is like 50-50. And I think we can move around, we can move the camera around, see if we can position this, try to get some interesting movement if we're close enough. And we turn the music on so the park will start doing something interesting. This would probably turn out pretty cool. But I think for now I'm going to set this to say maybe 3.3. And one of the things that's really working in our favor right now is I'm positioning the particle systems to be on the top of the screen. And then that's going to create a lot of interest and movement, but then the static image is going to create a little bit more consistency with the render. So we're keeping that face structure more intact. All right, so I'm going to turn the music on real quick and we'll see what happens. Nice. All right, so this is looking pretty good. Let's drag and drop a camera into the scene and go to the camera tab. And then under face object, I'm going to have it face the swarm particle effect system. And then I'm going to go to activate camera. So now we're seeing what the camera's seeing. And I'm going to use the zoom animation settings. And let's say the start position is 1000. And the end position is say 200. And the speed is really time, so let's set that to a higher number. And so that's now 10. All right, let's press play. All right, so now we got the zoom in animation. And as you can see, the AI on the left side is starting to be affected. Looks like we were zoomed out too much, so maybe I'm going to drop that to say 600, maybe 500. And then I'm going to make the camera lower down so that the AI is more on the top of the screen. And then let's make this a little bit faster. So maybe 6. All right, so now we've got the zoom in animation where the head is getting more and more affected by the particle system. And then I think, actually, let's take the hemisphere up here and expand rotation. And I'm going to take one of these nodes here and have it rotate on the y-axis. And so now there's just a little bit more motion coming from our 3D scene. And that's giving this kind of flippy growth kind of animation as we're zooming in. And I think maybe we should start like at 450 and then maybe even speed that up even more. All right, you guys, so now we've got this growing mushroom head. We can start to fiddle with the AI controls, maybe let this dream a little bit more. We're losing our person when we go too low, so maybe we keep that at 20, and we can dial up or down the input image, like saying that to 0.25. So now we're getting more of the 3D animation into the scene. All right, you guys, so this is really the foundation of how I created one of the AI shroom head animations you guys may have seen on YouTube. I think lastly, if we go in here to screen effects and we set this to mirror, we now have a horizontal image. This is going to double our resolution, which is pretty awesome, and double our resolution for pretty much free. All right, you guys, so this is really how I created the shroom head animation, and you guys should have fun playing around, and you can start to prompt to your heart's content. Maybe the last thing I'm going to throw in there is the prompt weight is also important. If we go to 0.5, this is now having the prompt have more importance than the image. It's really 50-50 right now, but if we go to 1, now the prompt is more important than the image that we're supplying. And if you start to go over a threshold, you're going to get higher and higher contrast images, which can be good until you get to a point where the image falls apart. And sometimes a high contrast image is good. If you want to get like 1.4, we've got a much more resolved image, but it starts to fall apart. The blacks start to get crunchy, you start to see distortions, but it does affect how the AI dreams. All right, you guys, so I think that's going to do it for our shroom head, but I think as a bonus, I want to show you guys a little bit more about what the static image is doing, because this is really important with how you start to condition the look and feel and the mood of the image. So if we go over here and select this other image and we say glass mushrooms and we reprompt this to say on a mossy tree in a micro photo style. Now I've got a completely different look and feel. And this is where the static images can become super powerful to condition the look and feel and style of your image, and then use the 3D to really drive the animation. And then to reinforce this even more, let's try a different image. Let's get this very colorful 3D or genAI image. Instead of a mossy tree, let's say glowing neon microscopic fungi made of plastic. All right, so there you go. So now we've got a completely different look and feel within seconds. And so I think this is where the possibilities are really like literally infinite. You can just keep going, having crazy ideas, and then if you balance between the photographic input to give style, color, look and feel, mood, texture, and then the 3D for animation, and then the prompting, then you're really going to start to create some insane combinations very quickly. So you can iterate super fast. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for this tutorial. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have questions, hit us up in the comments, and we look forward to seeing what you guys create.